When it comes to the big one, experts agree that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. One of the scenarios calls for a 7.8 earthquake on the San Andreas, and that would rock Southern California for hundreds of miles, and the damage could last months or even years.
Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've been digging into some of the earthquakes that have been happening there in California around the San Andreas fault line. And I have to say, some seismologists are nervous, thinking the big one could be right around the corner. So just kind of a heads up there, if you live in the California area and you're around that fault line, then you're probably also aware of the amount of earthquakes that happened just this past week. Now let me take you to the first report. This is on dailymail.com and it's titled, "Is California about to be hit by the big one? Fears of a massive earthquake rise after 134, that's huge, mini tremors rattle the San Andreas fault line in 1 week." Now let me just pause right there. That's in 1 week. On a typical year, there is about 3,000 earthquakes that can rock the California area. That's a statistic I'm going to leave you with from the get-go because yes, it's common that they have it. What is sending them into a little bit of worry zone is the fact that there were so many in 1 week, and the fact that 17 of them, and let me make sure I'm quoting this right, but 17 of them were stronger than a 2.5, and 6 of them were stronger than a 3.0, and the highest on the Richter scale thus far is a 4.6 magnitude earthquake that was felt in San Francisco there, about 90 miles away from the area there. So that's what we have, and I'm gonna leave links below so you can check those out, but that's as it sits so far. Now here's another report I wanna show you on zerohedge.com. This one is titled, "A Swarm of Earthquakes Beneath the San Andreas Fault is Making Scientists Nervous." It goes on to say that Thomas Jordan, the director of the Southern California Earthquake Center, is quoted as saying, "Anytime there is a significant seismic activity in the vicinity of the San Andreas Fault, we seismologists get nervous." So obviously there are some nerves being upticked because of the amount that happened in a singular area. But the question that needs to be addressed, first of all, is not a question of if it's going to hit. I think most people at some point are well aware that at some time in history, there's going to be a bigger earthquake in the California area. Why do we know that? Well, because it's happened historically. We just don't know exactly when or where it will happen or any of that information. But the question that needs to be asked is, when it does happen, how prepared is California? What does that look like? Well, I pulled up a report, and this one's on www.losangelescbsocial.com, and this is in reference to the LA area. But is Southern California ready for a 7.8 earthquake? Now, they didn't even get into stronger ones, but this report goes on to detail that if it were to hit, it would take at least 18 months or longer to recover from such a catastrophic event. Not to mention, it goes on, if some kind of tsunami hit the area. So 18 months, we're talking power grid issues, building issues, there could be lots of damage. You just don't know the damage level until it actually happens. Now here's something else I want to throw at you, and I brought this up in an earlier report, but it needs to be brought up again with what's going on in California. And this one's found on www.time.com. It's headlined, "Scientists predict that 2018 will be a bad year for earthquakes." And here is why. Now, the reason given there is obviously because of the Earth's rotation. It's rotating slower, according to them. Not to mention the cycles of the sun also play a part in that. When we are in a solar minimum, you have an uptick in some of the earthquake and volcanic, and also as well as your hurricanes have been upticked as well. Ergo, the reason we've had some of the hurricanes, I think also many of those or some of those can be attributed to man-made technology, but that's another conversation for another day. But either way, the sun absolutely has a lot to do with the uptick. It's not us dying because of Agenda 21 lies and we're in global cooling, climate change, whatever they want to call it. No, it's cycles of the sun, and that's what we're seeing here. So this could also attribute to an earthquake uptick. So there there is your heads up for that. Not to mention the biblical version does talk about all this as well. As a Christian, I could say that's something the Bible talks about, increased earthquake activity as well. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on all of that. Nobody knows when or if it's going, when it's going to hit, I would say, or where it's going to hit for that matter. But there is a lot of things to think about specifically in regards to that. Anyhow, I'd love to get your comments on that and hear what you guys think about that. And please don't forget to subscribe to my backup channel, Lisa Haven Vlogs. And don't forget to check out my partner, the VPN, virtualshield.com/Lisa Haven. Get the gift of protection and scramble that IP address. You can do that for Christmas using Lisa Haven as your code. You can get 20% off gift cards for any of your loved ones. And don't forget to check out my other sponsors down there as well. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.